Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me for centuries. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history. Remember me for centuries. Remember me for centuries. Long time my teenage dreams. No, it's nothing wrong with me. The kids are all wrong, the stories are long. Heavy metal broke my heart. Come on and let me in. Bruises and the bodies like my fingerprints. This is for to match the darkness that you felt. I never meant for you to fix yourself. Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold.
All right, everybody, welcome to the preview that you have waited all year for, as John Kroger and I break down Group 3 and Group 4 as we get started. It's for a lot of other people, it's college basketball season, but I know for you, it's your favorite time of the year because teams are getting ready to get going, and there's nothing better than high school baseball, right?
It's that time of the year. It's great.
We'll start with Group 4 first, and we'll hit we'll go north to south. We'll hit everything. We'll come back around at the end, and instead of state champs this year, because who can predict state champs now? I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I'll put me on the spot too, and we'll pick all 20 sectional champs for the preview, and we'll see by the time it gets to state.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
see if
well,
we got any
there's a
of
lot
these
to it to that, but I'll give it my best shot.
Group 4, if anything was the example of the ultimate high school team versus the ultimate showcase team, it was last year when Howell, the Howell Rebellion came off the grid and shocked first the Shore in having a great season, won the first ever state title in school history. Were they the ultimate example of a great team that came together, not so much a great ranking list of guys that came together?
Middle of the year, I went to see Howell play Freehold Township, and Eric Johnson said to me, he goes, this is a great bunch of guys. He goes, they stick together. They're gonna be together. He goes, it was right at the time, I believe. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember what date it was, but it was still cold out, and he thought his team was pretty good. And I don't know if he predicted he was going to win a state championship, but he talked about Thomas Strauss, as shortstop, and that, this guy and that guy can do this and that. And if they all did well, he thought he'd be pretty strong at the end of the year. And I think he was right, wasn't he?
Sure
So,
was. Finished the year as the #1 public school team in the state. I don't know, it might be asking a lot for a repeat, but let's start out north of Howell. Let's start out with North 1, and Livingston was the champ last year in North 1 Group 4. Can they repeat? And who are the big challenges? Is it Passaic Tech? We got Ridgewood. We got, Montclair. Anthony Anzaldi is a senior now. He's got the velo up in the upper half of the 80s, so he's more than just a spot pitcher, but he's a stud. What are we looking at? North 1, Group 4. Let's get it going.
Well, Livingston, Mickey Ennison, a phenomenal job, man. I tell you what, the guy's a great guy. He does have De Palma returning, and Miles Side, the catcher. And I spoke with him actually a week ago, and he said to me, he goes, "We're going to be pretty good." He goes, "Our league is tough." He goes, "But it prepares us for the states, and it all varies on who we play." I don't know if I could predict them to go back and win it again, but Passaic County Tech, I love the Gilligans. Johnny Gilligan and Jace are back. They got a couple other guys back. I just think Passaic Tech, those kids right there, that's a lot. Those are really good players. Ridgewood has a lot of innings back. Brennan Chanley, Jack Force, and Vincent Luther, and that's a lot of innings. That's almost like 90 innings. And Kurt Holman does a phenomenal job. So Ridgewood's got to be thrown in there also with that pitching staff. And Zaldi from Montclair, those guys always think they're going to be good. So my pick, Passaic County Tech.
I'm going to save it till the end of Group 4, but I will definitely give a pick. It might be them, might be Livingston. I'm not sure yet. How about we're going to throw a little shout out to my guys from Columbia, Brandon Dubeck, one of the top catchers in New Jersey, right?
Oh, Brandon's tremendous. Brandon is, I work with him all winter. And what a special kid he is. I met his parents the other night, and he was blushing when I met his mother and father, because he thinks I'm crazy. He thought I was going to say something to the parents that,
Yeah, I always thought Brandon was pretty perceptive, right?
Oh, he's amazing. And I felt really bad for him last year. And I was at that game, Milburn, Columbia, when he got robbed over the fence when Alex Wilson took that home run away from him in the state tournament to end the season. So, and it's funny because he walked up and I could hear him in the dugout, goes, guys, relax. I'm going to get this done. And he did get it done, but Alex Wilson got it done a little bit more. And Columbia was on their way home and Milburn advanced.
So Columbia's got to move up to Group 4. They're one of the teams that have kind of adjusted their brackets. We'll hit more on that later, but they're North 1, Group 4. North 2, Group 4. It's been Ridge, Hunterdon, and Central sort of, the last couple of years, all the talk. Ridge was the champ 2 years ago. Hunterdon and Central won the section last year. Ridge might be the favorite this year, but there are some teams that are certainly ready to challenge. You got Woodbridge, who made it to the finals last year with a really young squad. Eddie Nunez, one of the more underrated pitchers.
He threw over 1,000 pitches last year, Nunez. You know that, right?
Really?
Yeah, he threw over 1,000 pitches. I think he was 10-2. He threw in 14 games last year.
And they played a lot. I think they might have led the.
Yeah, they were 25-7. They played 32
they might have led they might have led the state in games played.
Yep.
You got Scotch Plains, always tough. Watchung Hills is going to be a challenge, I think. And Bayonne, right? The Bees are excited. You got not only Nolan Geisler back on the mound, but
Aiden Paradigm came back.
Yeah.
From down south. So yeah, they're going to be pretty good, Bayonne. That is one of those sections that there's so many good individual players. It varies who you meet up. So Bayonne could face Linden and with Cyprian. So now they bounce Bayonne out because Cyprian's a dude. Cyprian's my guy. James Scott from Hunterdon Central. They may not be Hunterdon Central of other years, but they're still going to be good. They end up beating somebody. And I'll tell you, my dark horse, I'm going to start off right now, right here, right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not saying they're going to win anything, but they're going to be way better. They were 8-19 last year, Phillipsburg. Watch.
Young. They were young last year.
Very young. They had like 6 sophomores playing. That team's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no. Can they win 4 in a row to win the section? I don't know, but they're certainly going to give it a heck of a shot. And you're talking about 2 teams that could cause problems with the sleeper single game teams. You mentioned Danny Cyprian and Linden. Danny being maybe the best all-around athlete in New Jersey playing baseball, all the things he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Edison High School is probably not at the top there, but
Edison's got some guys back, Appleman and Charlie the catcher.
Yeah.
But you know where I'm going, and I know where you're going, and I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to say the same thing. And if they don't win, sorry, Jay, man. I'm putting it on you right now. Westfield, this is the best team Westfield had in a long time. And this staff, unless they get injuries, I'm going right to Westfield. That team is good. Callahan's back behind the plate. Leo Mangione is back. I don't know if he's going to play third or short. It's Edwards. It's his time to be a really good player in the outfield. This is a tough Westfield team. 14-9-1. They improved to win 20 games this year. How they get there, I don't know. But hopefully they get it done during the state tournament.
Should certainly have the deepest pitching when you're looking through 1 through 4 or 5 really good pitchers. Whether you start with Cestero, you start with Jack Chavez, you're looking at a team that certainly should be a contender for North 2 and maybe even beyond. So Central Jersey, we got Howell in there. Certainly not the favorite, but you can't ever count out a champion. I know they lost a lot of guys, but they do have a pretty good amount of guys coming back too. Favorite, you've got another interesting bracket because you've got Old Bridge could have been the team, except Justin Herbstman's out for the season with an injury. You got Monroe. Harrison Lawlin is one of those guys who he's pitching. You can beat anybody. South Brunswick,
I found out today, Tutalamundo, he's back.
Yep, he's back for the gap year. Could he be this year's Colin Dowling from Middletown North? Absolutely. Manalapan, you got a team with Christian Bernardini on the team. They're going to be a challenge. East Brunswick was the upset darling last year, and all their pitchers are back. But if you're looking at a favorite, it's probably North Brunswick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you go anywhere but North Brunswick, I think you're going to be disappointed. That's just my opinion, because I mean, the guy, Konstantinovsky, 120 Ks, 2 walks. I think it was the first hitter of the year and the last hitter. I mean, what happened in between? Come on, Zach. Holy crap. But, Carrera brothers are back. I mean, Omar had 44 hits last year. I mean, if he wasn't in the same area as Gialusi, he would have been, he would have been all area catcher. He had a phenomenal year, and I would Justin Batts from Bergen Catholic transferred to North Brunswick too, just to strengthen their lineup a little bit. But North Brunswick 22-10 last year. I'm going right to North Brunswick, and I know you said Old Bridge. They're not. Listen, they struggle with runs, but they got a sophomore pitcher there, Justin Haskell, and then Papio. I wouldn't count Old Bridge out. O'Donoghue's got something up his sleeve, and Kyle McSorley's gotten a lot better with his swing, and he's got a flat-out cannon behind that dish. Old Bridge,
not many more physical players. Not many more physical players in the state than Kyle McSorley. He's going to be he's ready to go off, I think. South 4 is always a battle, right? Yes. That's one of those ones where you just use the PowerPoints and it really doesn't matter after there, because it's where you always see your 116. Either they beat them or it's 4-3 or something like that. What do you see in South 4? I mean, obviously, Kingsway was last year's final. Cherokee beat Kingsway, and nobody would be shocked if it was Cherokee and Kingsway in the final again this year.
Kingsway was the best public school in the state last year, all the way up till that day when Cherokee won. And I'm not to take anything away from Cherokee, but I believe a ball got caught in the net or something. Some crazy stuff happened, whatever. But listen, Cherokee won. They moved on, and listen, Kingsway, they got everybody back, and Josh Herner. He was 6-0 as a freshman, and he had Tommy John last year, and he's back with Landon Edwards, Coastal Carolina, and my favorite pitcher, favorite lefty, Finelli. Finelli, man, that fade, got the best fade in New Jersey. So Kingsway, they have the pitching, their hitting's pretty good, really good group that stays together. Kingsway's my team. I got to stick with them. I think I picked them last year, if I'm not mistaken. or at least I think I had two chances, and they were one of my teams. I thought they were really good. But this year, Bill, I know you went to Kingsway from Washington Township because you knew this group was going to be good. This is your time, baby. I, could you finish number one in the state? Why not?
Maybe,
They got
maybe.
you. Yeah.
There's so many good teams. When was the last time a public school team finished number one?
I think what was it? Oh, it should have. Oh, it's been a while. Cranford? Was it Cranford?
How
No.
long? How
I know
long ago?
Washington Town. Bill was coaching Washington Township, and they were ranked in the top 25. And then they won the Diamond Classic. Maybe 10 years ago. And then the next day on Monday, I'm talking to Kenny Frank while he's going to the game. Right? It's great. And I said, "Hey, Kenny," and he's asking me. He goes, "Hey, yo, how good are they?" I said, "This is the best high school baseball team in New Jersey." I said, "Kenny, just get out of there. Don't get 10-run ruled." I'm telling him. And Mitch Powitz is on the bus going, "Oh man, Krog," he goes, "they're that good." And Mitch is the greatest guy. So they get back on the bus, and I get a text from Alvaro saying, "We lost 5-4. Kenny Frank calls me, and he says, "Yo, we got it done. I told you we were going to win." And Kenny with that deep voice, and you hear all the kids screaming and yelling in the background. I'm like, damn, I can't believe it. Oh my God, I think I had $5,000 on Washington Township that game. No, but yeah, the problem here with Kingsway and Cherokee, who's going to meet up with Cam Flukie and Sweeney? If those guys together,
It's the luck
who
of
the
the
heck?
draw, right?
How you gonna hit that guy? I'm watching videos of Flukie. Holy camole! And then I was talking to the kid that was catching him. He's saying he's throwing 96, 97. Like, what are you kidding me? That's a different game when you're 6'5", 6'6" throwing that hard.
We're not even getting into some of the other schools, right? I mean, Washington Township's going to be better, I think, this year.
Yep.
Toms River East going to be better this year. Southern is full of talent. Southern,
That's who you like. You've been telling
I
me about
love them
Southern.
as a sleeper. They're not going to be my pick, but they're going to be a problem in the Shore Conference for some teams.
Yeah.
Lenape is Lenape. They still got a lot back. Grant Hunter
Adelman.
is fantastic.
Jonathan Adelman and Andrew Shank.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good team, Lenape.
Yep.
I don't know if they have the depth on the mound, but listen, Waz does a really good job with that team. I was surprised how good they got. They went to the Diamond Final last year. I mean, that's a good club, Lenape.
Yep. And then we got Central Regional, doesn't have Cam Leiter, but I think they're going to be pesky enough to surprise. And
yeah, I got to mention Christian Soto because he's done worked really hard over the winter. And
yep.
I know he had a little arm issue, but he's ready, raring to go. And he worked hard. He's good.
And just committed to Lafayette. And I think that's just such a great fit.
Yes. Smart student. And Dubik too from Columbia.
Yeah.
I mean Christian and Brandon, those are two phenomenal catchers. And Dubik is a power hitter. That's going to be Lafayette's doing a phenomenal job picking up players.
Yep. And then Eastern. We haven't even talked about Eastern, and you got Logan Dawson.
Chris, one of the best coaches in the state. Rob, you're one of the best. But you know what? I just don't know if you can get it done. You don't have those pitchers. You've been complaining. Send me some transfers, baby. Send me some transfers. No, he didn't say that. But Winstead's back, and no one gets more out of their players other than Rob Chris and Dennis McCaffrey from Cranford. Those guys, like when I look at those guys and I go to games, I can't believe for a public school the stuff they do. They just do it. Both those guys, they just win year after year. I know last year Eastern didn't do great, but they
were young last year.
Yeah. But again, those two guys, they just constantly win and win and win. Great coaches.
So North won. I'm going to go with Livingston back to back. And I think you are already on the record with Passaic Tech.
You jumping on the Livingston bandwagon again?
De Palma, absolutely.
Okay.
North 2, I think. So we got Ridge, we got Connor Byrne, we got Westfield. We got Hunter and Central. We can't ever forget Hunter and Central. Woodbridge. Are you officially a Westfield pick, or what are you going to be on the record with here?
I am going with Westfield, and I know people are going to be saying this team is ready to make a run also with Cozy at Bridgewater.
Yeah,
they got to be in the consideration. That team is dangerous. I don't want to play that team. Don't want to play.
Totally missed them when we sped through. And
I don't think you missed them. You talked to me about them a couple weeks ago. You mention them, and
Jason Cozy he's another one of those. He beat anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
So
they got a lot of guys back. They're gonna be tough.
You got Westfield. I'm gonna
Woodbridge, man. I'll tell you what. This is like a kid in a candy store with this. I mean, Woodbridge is good too. I mean, they got almost everybody back. They got a lot of guys back. I mean, AJ Bosch. I mean, watch for Drew Lukacek this year. I mean, this kid was their number 4 pitcher last year. He's gotten a lot better.
How about AJ Bosch? AJ Bosch running a 4.440 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a good baseball team. Mike Monaco, another great guy, man. Great coach. Yeah. He's done such a wonderful job. Woodbridge, I mean, that's a great job winning that many games at Woodbridge. Phenomenal.
Yeah. I still think maybe one more year for them to win it all. I am going to go with Ridge. I'm going to go with Connor Byrne in the championship, but these brackets, man, it's just too early. But everybody wants to hear. Central,
preseason, they're top 10 team in the state, but
they got to get some more.
Don't know if they have 2, 3, and 4 guys. You need 4 guys.
Yeah.
Listen, they're going to be good.
You're on the North Brunswick bandwagon in Central.
Done. Okay. I'm not changing my mind. Done.
We didn't mention Jackson and Charlie Meglio, so I want to give Jackson and Charlie Meglio.
I don't think Jackson has enough pitching. Really.
No, but Charlie's one of the best players in New Jersey too.
Yeah, Charlie's tremendous. Charlie can launch a baseball better than anyone I've ever seen. Still, the boy hit at Diamond Nation 2 summers ago. I couldn't even believe it. Went over the water like the towers.
I'm going to give North Brunswick the edge there too. Now, South Jersey, are you a Kingsway guy?
I already said I'm not changing my mind. Kingsway. Sorry, Coach Petronani. He goes, I love you, man. But Landon Edwards, lefty, senior, and Brett Gable, who I know I love. Petronani, he mentioned a player that Brett
Chiesa. Got to be Brett Chiesa.
Yeah, Brett Chiesa. He's very high on him right now, and that's just an add of a DH or a third baseman to that lineup. Which they lost key players, Patrizzi and Cheeseman. They're going to need to get another bat or 2 in that lineup to be as good. And I talked to some people. Oh, they love Cherokee. Cherokee's the best team. Yeah, well, they got to score runs and they got to pitch. They got to get more pitching. Proven pitching to me. You can say, oh, he throws 90, 95. This guy's 88. That doesn't mean anything to me. Look at the Palmer at Livingston. One of the best pitchers I've seen all last year. He threw 81, 82.
How about, we're a section away from this, but we'll save it for Group 3. But Drew Oppenheim is another one of those.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think he gave up a run all last year.
So Group 4 South, I've gone back and forth in my head a ton of times. I still don't have a clue, but I just got this feeling that they're not going to be one of the top 2 or 3 seeds. But come June, the Twin Towers, although one of the 2 towers is is a few inches taller than the other one, Justin Sweeney, Cam Flukie, it may come down to those coastal commits in the final. But I'm going to go with Egg Harbor and surprise everybody and win South Jersey Group 4.
I cannot say anything bad about that because Egg Harbor they're another top 20 team. I mean, they also Cogna's back. He had 32 hits last year, and they got a big transfer from Oakcrest, Joel Thompson, who not only is a good hitter, he can pitch. So you,
And you need somebody to eat those off innings that those big two aren't.
yeah, in games that they listen. Egg Harbor always has great pitching, always has great pitching. So
Got to get 4 runs a game, and they're going to be my state champs, but they got to do
yes.
it first.
I'm not going to come after you, Carms, like I did last year. I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry.
You're not going to be able to after this because they're winning.
No, because I think this year you're going to be able to stick it in my face. I might agree with you, Coach. You got a shot this year.
That
Township.
That is our Group 4 preview. The big schools take a bit. We're gonna wrap this one up, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk some more after this. But you are watching our preview week on Jersey Baseball Nation.